Good evening, everybody. On Coronation Day, the King has become the King. Obviously, I'll give a few minutes for people to hopefully pile in. Welcome to my new live channel. I'm hoping to get a lot of debates done here and discussions and stuff like that. Um, I'm wearing my special Coronation T-shirt today. That's about as close as you'll get to royalty and me. I got given a nice little Union Jack, and I'm not too bothered about the royals. I'm not a royalist. I don't believe that anyone should be any better off than anyone else. You know, it's just luck of where you're born, really, isn't it? So whilst I sort of like see that people like the royals, some people like the royals because of tradition and whatever else. I don't think there's a place for people that are um, born into rich and stuff like that. So I'm not a royalist, but if you are, then good luck to you. I just it's not that I'm anti-royal. It's more that I am anti paedophile supporters. So I'm sorry, but the royal family's got more paedophiles wrapped around it than most small prisons. I mean, how many of the honoured gentry and that, the knighted gentry and stuff have turned out to be complete wrong'uns? Quite a few. So the stream, we've got about 10 people in now. The stream is called The King, Savile and the King, and it's going to be it's going to be no shock to anyone that Jimmy Savile was right in there. Oh, what have I done? Press something. Hang on. Actions. Yeah, it's not going to be a shock to many people that Jimmy Savile was right in there with the royal family. Apparently, he was very close to Prince Charles, and I don't think there's any denying that because we've all got the photos and whatever else. They'd like to put a little bit of distance between them, but the simple fact is that the royal family, to get anywhere near the royal family, you get really strictly vetted by the security services, MI5, MI6, SIS, whatever you want to call them. But you don't get near a royal unless you are completely checked out. I mean, completely checked out. They even go back to, the spies will go back and speak to your great grandparents if they're alive and stuff like that. They literally go through that much because you might well be a second generation Russian sleeper agent that's been put over here and has been is a sort of like communist from the 1950s and whatever. They literally look into it that much. They will look into your complete family tree, and they'll go back and they'll ask your primary school teachers and all sorts of stuff. They literally leave no stone unturned. They do a proper job of anyone that goes anywhere near the royal family. So, let me tell you a story. This is the little story, and the reason I'm doing this here is because obviously the king and the monarchy has been quite a big thing today, and I've had a couple of people sort of like asking and stuff, and I have to keep on going over the story continually. So I thought, well, I got asked do it on a live, and that way you won't have to tell the story again, because I was like, oh, I've told this one a few times now. So if you're sitting comfortably, once upon a time, there was a good-looking bald man that worked for the BBC doing security. Now, the good-looking bald man was at White City TVC, as they called it, Television Centre, which is a massive building. It's gone now. Well, I don't know if the building's gone now, but they moved everything to Salford apparently. So Television Centre is absolutely huge. I mean, huge. I wouldn't even like to say how many rooms it's got in it, but it is absolutely huge. And when you do security there, the type of security that I was doing, which was slightly specialised security, it weren't just a run-of-the-mill, stand by a gate and ask to see someone's pass type stuff. Occasionally, if we had, if we was given that job, we'd do it. But we was more specialised security. So there was the good-looking bald man, and he was told that what he needed to do, obviously, was to familiarise himself with this whopping great big building at White City. Find out where all the places are. So if there's any problems at any place, you instantly know how to do it. You're given a good few shifts just to walk around the building, to meet the staff, to work out where the fire exits are, where the flashpoints might be, that sort of stuff. Now at White City, the canteen, good little bit of food at the canteen, by the way, was, I'd say, one of the beating hearts of the whole place as far as people interacting was concerned. And the unwritten rule was that you leave everyone alone to eat. Obviously, some people that didn't know the unwritten rule would walk into the canteen and see all their favourite stars in that canteen, and start sort of like, oh, can I get an autograph and stuff like that. And that wasn't the done thing. It was like everyone's left alone in the canteen if you're in the canteen. But because you literally could have like A-list celebrities in the canteen, and sort of like guests to Television Centre that were there for one day or something stupid, people did sometimes get a bit sort of how can I put it, a bit testy with each other. So the canteen was somewhere that security would be asked to go to regularly. So one of my first experiences in the canteen was that the canteen manageress, really, really nice older lady. I always remember meeting her. She was really, really nice, really down to earth. She was an older lady. She'd apparently worked there all her working life. She was a petite little lady. You could still see that she was very attractive, and because she'd worked there for the whole of her life, she'd literally not ever left that canteen, and she was really well respected, and knew the place like the back of her hand. Obviously, working there like 40 years or however long she'd been there, but she started there as soon as she'd left school, which was when she was, I think, sort of like 16, 15, something like that. I mean, we're talking the 1960s now, so it was quite a while. So she was walking me around, showing me, the exit, showing me how to get from one spot to the other, saying, where this person would usually sit and that celebrity would usually sit, and all that sort of stuff. And we got chatting, and we got talking about Jimmy Savile. Yeah, Sir Jimmy Savile. So Sir Jimmy Savile obviously was never convicted, but it's pretty well accepted that he was one of the biggest paedophiles and perverts that this country's ever produced, which is saying something. But Jimmy Savile, where he was so prominent at the BBC, it was no secret to anyone that he was a predatory paedophile pervert. They all knew it. And this lady, because she was, at the time when she started there, she was young and pretty. Basically, she was warned the first time she got there, never get caught alone with Jimmy Savile. Never be in the same room as Jimmy Savile alone, because he is a pervert. It was well known. It was told, all the pretty young girls and whoever else was told, you don't get caught alone with Jimmy Savile. Now, the point I'm going to make on this one is that if canteen staff at BBC knew, how can you logically argue that the security services that are paid millions to find this sort of stuff out and to protect the royalty and the VIPs and stuff like that, how would they not have known? And quite simply, there is no way that the security services knew, but they still allowed Jimmy Savile to knock about with the would-be King of England, the now King of England. And I believe that there's a bit of hubris involved in it. There's egos, that they never thought that it would really matter. And no way did any of them foresee that people would be able to openly talk about this sort of stuff on the internet. So, and always remember as well that I'd say almost all of the celebrities and stuff like that are allowed to climb the greasy pole, I'd say they've probably all got something held over them. And it might be paedophilia, it might be gambling debts, it might be, oh, God knows, you know, I mean, way back in the day, you know, if you was homosexual, um, they'd use that against you. They'd know you were homosexual. They'd use, you know, that you was homosexual against you. So there's always something that they blackmail these people with. That's my personal opinion, and that's from me sort of seeing a lot of what's going on. And like I said, it could be something as silly as like a gambling debt. It could be something as serious as like, you know, paedophilia, sexual abuse, whatever. So I think that a lot of the people that are prominent are probably blackmailed in some way, shape, or form, because that way the establishment is guaranteed to pretty much keep them quiet. It's worth noting as well, if the oldies that are watching me, that everyone will remember Esther Rantzen. Esther Rantzen. She was the woman that started Childline, the line for kids to ring up, you know, to report abuses and stuff like that. And she actually went on record and said that everyone knew about the, but it's not just me saying it. It's not just the lady in the calf, the older lady in the calf that's telling me. It's also Esther Ranson has gone official on record and said that she knew exactly what he was, Jimmy Savile was, but you know, felt powerless to say anything because of the power of the guy. And what I was told was, you know, he was blatant. He was that powerful in that organisation that he would say, if anyone said anything against him, it'd be like, what are you going to do? What can you do? You know, I'm protected, because there he is, you know, standing next to Prince Charles, and one of the most powerful figures in the British entertainment industry as well. So Esther Ranson, you know, went on record and said it. There's no way Esther Ranson would have known it, and the security services not. So is the only logical conclusion you can come up with that one is that they probably allowed it, and they probably never thought that there'd be all these nutty conspiracy theorists openly talking about it online, because there was no internet when all that was going on. They couldn't even perceive that we would be sitting here now discussing, you know, the sort of the mucky little world that is the establishment and the people in it. So don't ever think that I'm anti-royalist. I'm not anti-royalist. I'm anti-paedophile more than anything else. I like a bit of tradition. I understand that, you know, that the royals are good for tourism and whatever else, and they bring in a lot of money to the country, but they also get given a lot of money. Now, the problem I've got with, for instance, today is that £250 million was spent for a party for a guy that has got a 1.8 billion quid fortune. He should have, you know, he should have paid for his own party, and why it needed to be that sort of like big, I don't know. There's food banks that were getting loans from the National Lottery that have had their National Lottery grants stopped. So, you know, that they're struggling to help people with food, and the National Lottery are telling them that, sorry, we're giving the money to coronation events. And it's like, hang on a minute, the guy's got 1.8 billion quid, and you know, I think he can afford to pay for his own party. Yeah, so I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. If you're seeing this for the first time, please like and subscribe. Once I can work out, I was supposed to do this earlier, by the way. I was going to do it on this channel, but one of my friends promoted it on my other channel, so I ended up trying to do it on my other channel. But for some strange reason, YouTube wouldn't let the live go ahead. I started it seemed to work for like 2 minutes, then it kicked me out, and you know, and I'm just having loads of trouble. I think I'm shadow banned, but don't tell YouTube that. So if you're not a subscriber, please like and subscribe. And if you've got any debates or anything you want to talk about, we're doing advice, we're doing, you know, just chats and discussions and all sorts of stuff. Please stick a comment in the chat. And yeah, I'll as soon as I can get round to you, because I'm really really busy. I'll get round to you, and hopefully we'll get some debates going. I'm gonna learn how StreamYards works and take the plunge on that one. So be kind, but you've got to cut me some slack on that one as well. And just the thing I'd like to just finish off with is that just do your best to be happy, because if you aren't happy, yeah, then the establishment wins. The nasty people win when the good people become unhappy, because you do stuff that makes you happy, that hurts no one else, and just try and sort of like get the message out there and be kind. So it's the most important thing. Do not be cruel, always be kind. Guys, thanks ever so much. I'll see you again soon, and yeah, let me know what you want to talk about and we'll get it done. Thanks ever so much, guys. Have a good weekend.